M-Dog Gaming.
Alright, welcome. This is M-Dog. We're going to do an arena draft here and play some matches with it. So right now, Shaman's kind of my favorite class, probably all the way around. Even the few times I played Constructed, I've been playing mostly around with a couple Shaman decks, although I have been playing with a pretty interesting Warlock deck as well, and I do like Warlock a lot in Arena. I've played Druid pretty recently. I actually haven't played Paladin as much lately, so we'll go with Paladin. We certainly had a lot of early success with Paladin, so we'll give that a spin here and see what we have here on the first pick. And I think, I don't know, it's a tough choice actually. If you think about Master Swordsmith, and think about in terms of the Paladin's hero ability, so, which is summoning your little 1/1 minions. This could actually make, make one a 2/1, even the turn you play it. So that's somewhat beneficial. I think it could work with the Paladin deck fine. Questing Adventure is always a risk-reward card. If you get in a situation you can play a couple cards on top of it, then for 3 mana you get yourself a 4/4. And that's good, but it does require some finagling and sort of holding off. Sometimes when you have it sitting in your hand, you might wish, I just wish I had a solid 3-drop to play right now, not dependent on all the other stuff. So in a lot of decks, I probably would go Questing Adventure and just try to go for it mid to late game, but we're going to go Master Swordsmith because I kind of like the synergy there with the Paladin deck. I don't like Repentance that much, and I think Tauren Warrior is really weak. Blood Cell Raider is average to below average too. Of course, if we get weapons, it gets a lot better, but we'll go with Blood Cell Raider there. And we have two 2-drops right now. Neither one of them are 3/2s, which is kind of where I like some of our 2-drops to be at least. But Farseer is pretty good because you get the healing coming in, so we'll take that. So now we have a choice between one of the better 1-drops or basically what I usually refer to as a 3-cost, 3-attack spell, removal spell. Because this thing's going to charge in there and it's going to hit something, and whatever it hits is going to do 1 damage to it most likely, and so it's going to be gone. Suppose you could go to the face with it, but unless you're closing the game with it, that doesn't usually help you that much. So, it's okay. Decent little removal card basically is what it is. But kind of like Worgen, it can sit around. If you get it out early game, it can sit around and find itself a target to help really trade up. So for 1 mana cost, we'll take the Worgen. Light's Justice, not my favorite. Redemption can be very powerful, but I think you have to get Consecration pretty much regardless of what it's against until you get at least a couple of them in your deck for Arena. So Blessing of Might is alright. Give one of your minions +3 attack. That can work well with the Paladin special ability. But Gurubashi Berserker is very tempting. Now we're not going to have a way to damage it ourselves. Obviously we're not playing a mage. So its potential is not quite as strong perhaps. But it's still a strong card. Because of its high defense. If you get that out at the right time, there aren't many things that are going to be able to kill it with 1 shot. And if they do remove it, they've probably spent more than 1 card in doing so. So it can be pretty good in and of itself. I'm not a big fan of Lord of the Arena. If you're just needing some taunt, then it serves the purpose. But with such low health for a high mana cost, to me, it's just not ideal. Usually at that point in the game, if you're playing a 6 mana cost card, someone is going to have an ability to deal with that, probably just using one of their own cards. So it's not going to trade especially well for you. So back to the choice here. Blessing of Might or Gurubashi Berserker, and I think we're going to run with the Berserker here. Now this is actually a really tough decision. You can throw the Warden out, very weak, just such a low attack. Again, if you're just really... A priest would take that if they were looking to boost it up. Some other classes might take it, but as a Paladin, I'm not really too crazy about that, especially when you look at my other 2 choices. And I'm probably going to go True Silver Champion, but you cannot overvalue having more than 1 Consecrate in your deck, especially if you get an equality. And now another very difficult choice, and Again, we have one consecration. Razorfin Hunter is a great 3-drop. But Hammer of Wrath is removal and it cycles a card. So we're going to go Hammer of Wrath there. Dark Iron Dwarf, so good. Noble Sacrifice has its place for sure, but I'm not going to pass on a Dark Iron Dwarf for a Noble Sacrifice. Maybe the best sort of all-around minion in neutral minion in the game. You know, I mean, I think you can make that argument. It's got charge, it's got divine shield. I mean, it can remove something that has 4 or less health, and all that does to it is pop its shield. It's a surprise. It comes out of nowhere. I think it's obviously a no-brainer against these two, but it's almost a no-brainer against just about anything. And here we will sort of, unfortunately, have to take an Ogre Magi, I believe. I don't really want another 1-drop, especially a 1-drop with 1 health that's not in stealth. It does have Wind Fury, so you could, I guess, hit him to the face for 2 attack. But unless you're going to give that thing Kings or something, then now you're talking, but we don't even have a Kings yet. So I'm going to lean towards Ogre Magi now. Just sort of an average 4-drop. Second Blood Cell Raider makes more sense than the other 2 options. And I would love to get a Youthful Brewmaster. I love it. But I think it's more important to make sure we have at least 1 Silence in our deck. And now we'll get a Blessing of Kings. I do like this. Like, obviously it pairs really well with the Paladin special ability. Acolyte of Pain would be nice for the card draw. River Croc is okay as a 2-drop, but we've already got 2 2/3s already, so we'll go Blessing of Kings. Well, War Golem is sort of very vanilla, decent 7-drop, 7 damage, 7 health. Add those together, 14 divided by 7 is 2. It's right there at the vanilla test. It's hard because when you spend this much mana on a minion, you do sort of want it to do something. Like, you just wish that it would do something. But I don't need another Worgen Infiltrator. Don't really prioritize having a Wolf Rider at this point. So we'll go War Golem and just have a big old expensive minion in our deck. I don't like any of these choices. Dalaran Mage is pathetic for us. The only thing this could possibly do for us is boost our Consecration up. I suppose it would boost Hammer of Wrath up as well, but at that point, you're talking about spending 7 mana, and I'm not sure how realistic it is to think that that's what we'll need. We have 1 True Silver Champion. If we don't get another, then this is just a below-average card sitting in our deck, having to be played, but not trading well with other 4 mana cost minions. So it creates a difficult situation here, but I guess we will go with the Corsair. Silverhand Knight's a very good 5-drop and is better than the other garbage that we got offered there. I see people playing with these Holy Wraths. I don't understand it. It's so random. You know, we could draw a Worgen Infiltrator, and for 5 mana we do 1 damage to something. No thanks. This is great, but I think Knife Juggler is better. We finally get a 3/2 2-drop. Knife Juggler is one of the better ones. And we'll go Cult Master here over Booty Bay Bodyguard just to have a little more potential for some card draw. And a second Argent Commander is, to me, more desirable than a Sunwalker. The only thing I'm considering is a second Knife Juggler, but I think we will pick up our second Argent Commander here. And we'll go Noble Sacrifice. Have 1 secret so far. So this is an odd choice here. Would we rather deal 3 damage, do some removal, and draw a card? Or would we rather put down a minion that's a 2/4 and draw a card? I think we'll get our second Hammer of Wrath. Another Blessing of Kings is good. Much better than the other 2 options. And I think we'll get Frostwolf Warlord. I do like the Ogre actually better than the War Golem just because it's not as pricey and has the same amount of health. But I think Frostwolf Warlord, we really only have to have 2 minions down for this to pretty much be almost breaking even with the ogre, and with our special ability, having 2 minions down is very realistic. Argent Protector here. That Divine Shield can really come in handy. Raging Worgen, a very good 3-drop, better than the other 2 we've been offered. I think I'm going to have to take Tauren Warrior. I don't want to, I don't like it, but we have so few 3-drops. And we'll get Yeti here, I think. We definitely don't want Holy Knight. Wolf Rider's okay. We've got 3 3-drops. We've got 1,000,000 4-drops, which is what you expect with Paladin. But even still, I'm going to get the Yeti. I guess we will get another Blessing of Kings. And for our last pick, probably Demolisher because it's a 3-drop. We do have some spells. If we waited and played Auctioneer behind... in front of our Consecrate, our Hammer of Wraths, we could draw a card off of it. But that's a 9 mana. I mean, that's so situational. I think we'll get Demolisher. Alright, let's see if we can do anything with this Paladin deck. We passed on 2 Consecrations, so we'll see if that comes back to haunt us, just having limited AoE removal. We have a little bit of removal with our Hammer of Wraths, but the big problem that I see with this deck is we only got 1 true silver champion. No legendaries, only 1 weapon. Just sort of a vanilla Paladin deck. And I don't...
I must protect the wild. I will fight with honor.
Now we may see this a lot, where we get a lot of 4-drops in our opening hand. Alright, this is going to be much better.
Well met. My greeting. I smell blood.
Well, it's very tempting to now just hold on to this, given that we just drew true silver.
Reporting for duty.
So we will draw our true silver and keep our Worgen in stealth. He will probably just take out our silver hand, and let's see if he attacks with his Worgen or just leaves it in stealth as well.
Reporting for duty.
Let's try that one more time. Now if he oozes our true silver, this whole plan is going to be for naught. And I think actually instead of putting our true silver out right now, we'll go ahead and give this Kings an attack. I'm sure he'll have a way to remove it, but I just don't like any of our plays here. Pulling out true silver right now doesn't make a lot of sense. All we can do is sort of hope that whatever he plays, it gives us a chance to Hammer of Wrath something next turn, and then just try to pull out true silver and Bloodcell Raider on the same turn on turn 6. Given the cards we have in our hand, that's just looking like the best option we have. So he's going for something that has 5 mana cost. He's going to go taunt, so he will probably attack us. Now let's think about this. We can trade it. Of course, we only have 2 life left if we do that. We don't have a way to... okay. So, we can Noble Sacrifice. That'll protect it for 1 turn. And then just summon a Reinforcer. Of course, we could True Silver Champion this, but that doesn't really help us.
I wonder. Reporting for duty. I must safeguard the land.
Alright. It's time to get this out. We've been waiting long enough.
The battle!
We still have our secret up, so at some point he'll attack something and he'll get a 2-1 instead of whenever he tries to attack. So this is where it's going to happen.
Get down!
And this becomes a prime target for Hammer of Wrath. That'll leave us 3 left. Not a lot to do with 3 unless we draw something. Okay. So we now have 2 Blessing of Kings in our hand. The only options we have are to decide whether or not we want to use the weapon now, and because we only have 1, I think we're going to hold on to it. I'm used to playing Paladin and even more so Warrior with getting a lot of weapon draws. And when that happens, you just swing freely and go to their face as much as you can and keep that pressure up. But in this case, this deck we've built is much more of a steady trading kind of deck. So something that we're going to want to... There's 1 Starfire. Something we're going to want to hold on to in terms of our weapon for that right moment. Alright. I think we'll go ahead and play Silverhand Squire. And then we'll just get another True Silver Recruit out. I'm going to save our Blessing of Kings at least for 1 more turn and see what he does here.
Reporting for duty.
And he still has that Worgen and Stealth. He's had it since the beginning of the game. This is a time where if he doesn't have a way to kill the Squire else another way, he could trade up for that. Alright, so this will start possibly taking out our recruits. Let's see how many things he can summon on top of it. 2 things. Great play there. Get 2 daggers. Oh, he's so lucky. So lucky with the daggers. Now is he going to attack anything with our Worgen? That's sort of the question. Yeah, I think that's a good trade there. We'll go ahead and take out the mechanic here with our weapon. And... he's going to go ahead and take out True Silver, I would think, because that helps him trade better. Alright, so we know we're going to do that. I think we'll go ahead and get Urabashi and Chillwind Yeti out. I don't want to Kings anything right now. Don't need to silence anything because we're going to trade with the Knife Juggler. Cult Master. He'd have to attack it first. I don't love Cult Master right now. Now the other thing, instead of a Yeti, we could Kings this and make it an 8-8, so that it would be an 8-5 next turn. Then we'd still have 1 Kings left. Save our Yeti for a turn. I think we'll hold off though. Problem is we're letting him take this 4-1 with that little fella, so maybe it is better to go ahead and Kings there. It'll just get another Starfire or a Starfall out of him if he has it. But if he doesn't for some reason and it lives, it'll be a great play, and the Girabashi Berserker can run itself into the Draggingling to get a little boost going.
What to do? Where shall I strike?
Still has 4 mana left. Let's see what he's going to play here. Interesting. So he's got lots of targets we want to take out right now. He's really filling the board up with minions. Our Consecration would be lovely. Okay. So if we play this, we can also silence something. If we run this into this, this will then have 3 health and 5 attack. And then we could take it out with that. And then just about want to just go to the face with this thing. Do 8 damage. In fact, if we silence this, well, we're still going to kill something with that just to get that gone. We need to get this gone at the very least. If we silence that, we could do 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 damage. So we actually are lethal right now.
Your magic shall not save.
Let's make sure we're adding this up correctly. This would be a 4, this would be 6 attack, and that's 8, that's 14.
Well played.
So we need enough early damage there to, because of the Kings and the keeping the Silverhand Knight alive, we were able to go ahead and be lethal there. Let's see how this deck performs in a second match. The first one went pretty well, although if we had not been lethal, he had enough minions on the board where it did feel like it may have gotten a little tricky. I mean, I think we would have traded okay, at least for another turn or two, but I'm not sure where that match would have gone to if we hadn't have been lethal at that point. So another druid. And you know, one thing we kind of did last match, and I think it was the right thing to do, but we sort of played into what the druid wants, in the sense that we stalled in the beginning. And druid decks, even in arena, often are pretty expensive decks. So you are basically helping them get to their more expensive cards by stalling in the beginning. And again, we have such an expensive hand here that it's going to happen again, and so we're going to have to try to play through it here.
Reporting for duty.
It would be really silly to put a Demolisher down this early. But if we don't get anything else, honestly, I may do it. Okay, now that's interesting. Okay, so we're going to play Demolisher this turn, even if it dies. Then next turn we can do sort of a Master Swordsmith reinforced combination here. This will get some removal out of him if he has a silence, if he has, anything. He'll just play, even if he can't kill it this turn, he'll play something that where he knows he'll be able to kill it next turn. And we don't really have anything to stop him from doing that, but I'm not really willing to, ooh, that's a dangerous play. Yeah. I don't like that play. You don't put something down with 2 health when there's a Demolisher sitting there. Alright, so now I think I like what we originally talked about. It would be nice to give the Demolisher the attack in a sense, because we know he's going to be attacking that, but either way, you know, we're going to get a higher attack somewhere there. And at turn 5, we can go ahead and get the Silverhand Knight out if we want. The Noble Sacrifice is interesting. If we can tell next turn, it looks like he's definitely going to be attacking this. Okay, is he going to get taunt? Or okay, there's charge. So he just goes in, kills it. That's a good play. Alright, so we don't have anything to really heal. I think we've got to go Cult Master and then Noble Sacrifice, honestly.
Let me think.
Because we know he's going to be attacking.
Battle.
We know he'll probably attack our Master Swordsmith here, I would think. He also could decide to go after the Cult Master because he doesn't want to let us draw cards. But whatever he does, he's going to attack a 2-1 instead, and we should be able to kill it on our next turn with Silverhand Recruit. Now that's not counting for removal. I mean, this is a time that he could swipe. This is a time, I mean, there's a lot of things he could do right now that would really ruin our plans. But let's just wait and see. Well, we should at least get some card draw off of this.
Get down.
How nice would it have been to draw top deck our silence, but it's not going to happen. So this does 2 damage. We don't have any way to boost any of these cards up outside of that. So basically what we want to do is we want to run this card into that and get card draw, run this card into that and get card draw. And then unfortunately, unless we really draw something awesome, we're going to be okay, I mean that's great and all, but that doesn't help us right now.
It's time.
Okay. And now we unfortunately have to just go ahead and seal the deal. And now let's see. I'd like to hold back our Argent Commander. I don't really know. I think we'll just play Ogre Magi and our Silverhand Recruit, to be honest, because next turn we could go ahead and use True Silver Champion and then put this on the board for free, especially if there's something that makes sense to swing it, and we'd still have 3 mana to do something with. Oh yeah, that's a perfect target for our True Silver Champion. Okay, not as perfect as it was a minute ago. All right, let's figure this out. 4 damage. If we consecrate right now, this thing has 3 life left, and then we could go ahead and take it out with this. I don't love that play though. We could pop our Divine Shield and then trade, and that's pretty much it this turn. We could go ahead and get our Silverhand Knight out. I think we have to go ahead and take care of that. So, unfortunately, we're going to lose our... Well, then should we just go ahead and consecrate? 3 damage.
Let me
I think so.
quickly. The battle. Reporting for duty.
You know, we end up with not much on the board in terms of having anything next turn of ready to hit, but we've got our Argent Commander that has charge. We still have our True Silver and Dread Corsair combination. That's a good one. And there's another awesome target for our True Silver champion, even though it is going to have 2 attack. And that is the exact combo that we played. Okay, he's going to take one of our guys out there. That we played earlier, and I really like that combo. Very cool little combo there. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to deal with this turn. I think it is more important to take out. Actually, we may. We'll probably go ahead and Hammer of Wrath, to be honest. We're going to go ahead and put this out.
Blood and plunder.
And deal 3 damage, draw a card. And take a swing at this. Heal us back up to 30, and then we fall to 28. And now we're set up pretty good. On turn 9, you know, it might be worth playing. There's probably nothing to heal. It might just be worth going Silverhand Recruit and Frostwolf Warlord. If these are still both on the board, to have plus 3/3 at this point in the game is about as good as you can expect, I think, from Frostwolf Warlord. Oh, too bad. Good ooze save. Way to hold back your ooze. So he's really coming out here with some minions. Alright, so I think this does change our plans a little bit. We can Hammer of Wrath. Now every time this takes damage, so if we attack this, it'll be down to 4 health, but it'll have 5 damage. If we Hammer of Wrath it, it'll be down to 4 health. So then we could double hit there. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we have to Hammer of Wrath this. And that will leave us 5. We'll go ahead and play Frostwolf Warlord. Trade here, and then just go to the face with that.
The frost will stand. The battle. No.
Now the one nice thing is, if he attacks here to boost this fella up, we have an Argent Commander. This would then have 4 health. Argent Commander comes in with Divine Shield, removes it, and all it does is pop the Divine Shield, and we still have a 4/3 on the board. So it's kind of the reason why it was a little easier to play that way. Of course, now this gets a little more difficult, obviously. He's going to boost that up. Okay, our taunt's still alive. That actually helps. I actually forgot that our taunt was still going to be alive. Alright, 3. Leaves 5. We take it out. We don't have silence up. We don't have any card draw up. 4. See, that doesn't work out good. So we're going to have to take this out with these 2. And then put Divine Shield down. Take that out. And that's the only thing we'll have on the board unless we play. And probably what we would play at that point is maybe just Bloodcell Raider and Silverhand Recruit. But I don't see any other plays to make. We can't just ignore either of those. Obviously there's Taunt as well as the potential for that to really grow. So we're going to have to do this. It now has 5 health. There are just no options. Now one thing we could do in looking at this is put another Taunt down and our Stealth instead of the Bloodcell Raider and the Silverhand Recruit. I think I like that better. We still have a heal here if anything gets damaged but not killed. We still have the Berserker and the Silverhand Knight, which We could play both in one turn now that we're at 10 mana here. Let's just see what he plays. We have a little bit of card advantage, a little bit of health advantage. So the only thing that I'm worried about is him having more removal and or bigger late game cards, which a druid typically does. If we look at our cards though, he still has well, 4 more cards in his deck. So
I hear you got a problem.
I think the longer this goes, the scarier it gets. We need to go ahead and start doing some damage to him, which we should be able to do here. Alright, so we could go Knife Juggler. We'll probably just go ahead and take that out actually with stealth. Knife Juggler 2. Silverhand Knight 7. And then Silverhand Recruit, I would say.
Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir.
Reporting for duty.
Alright, take this out. And go ahead and attack directly to the face. Now he's really going to want a removal spell to deal with this warrior, because if he has to attack here, it's such a waste on the Ravenholt Assassin. We'd then be able to take it out with something like our Silverhand Recruit. Hogger's a great card, but I'm not sure how much that really, in all honesty, on all honesty, I'm not sure how much that necessarily helps him. Now, he's doing the right thing here and taking out what he can, and now what we're really hoping is that whatever we play here takes out this Ravenholt Assassin. Obviously, we know we're going to have to take this out, and we'll have to trade there somehow, but alright, let's first of all think what we're going to do. There's nothing to heal. There is the potential that something might need healing, though. So if we trade here, then it's a matter of how many minions do we want to play before we get kings. We could play up to 6 mana. So I think we're just going to do a recruit.
Reporting for duty.
Get our Berserker out. Okay. So I didn't hit where we wanted it to. If we get our Berserker out, though, we're past... We only have 3 mana left. I think we will do this. Now we still have 6, so we still have Blessing of Kings option. Okay. Alright, so now we just gotta...
Well played.
Sorry, I guess I was playing a little slow. Just really trying to look at the options, make sure we don't make a mistake here in late game. But another good victory for this Paladin deck, and yeah, and that's why I think we were lethal there. I think all I had to do is take out that taunt card and then attack to his face, and we were lethal. So, all right, good second win though. Interesting deck we've got here. Ceiling's gonna probably be coming up pretty soon though. Not enough removal or AoE removal, and not enough weapons and other big cards to, I think, go all the way with this one, but we can get some work done. We'll see how far we... Bailey, get out of the garbage. My dog trying to get in the garbage. No. Alright. Silly dog.
Uther versus Rexar. Let the hunt begin. I will fight with honor.
And as per normal, we get all of our 4s and expensive cards in our opening hand. And we do either way. 2 4s and a 5, no matter how you cut it. There is a Raging Worgen. First time we've seen that since we started playing with this deck.
Greetings, traveler.
It's also the first time we've seen the Dark Iron Dwarf. So we know we're gonna take 4 damage with the leopard gnome. I assume he'll just go to the face here with it.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Really unfavorable trades. Not sure how we're gonna get back into this other than consecrating, unfortunately. Let's see what he comes back with here. Yeah, I would continue to go to the face if I was him with both minions, but he doesn't. And he actually puts himself in consecrate range on both of his minions now by attacking with his Shattered Sun Cleric like that. Probably not the best play, but I know what he's thinking there. Let's minimize the amount of opportunity for, you know, Paladin to buff up. We're now in range of having King, so he's going to minimize how many of those recruits we have. I think we have to consecrate here. It's not, you know, there's often better opportunities to consecrate outside of turn 4 with more minions on the board, but we were taking way too much damage, and there's 2 more damage that we had to take from the leopard gnome anyway, so now let's see. Okay, so I don't think we let this stay alive, honestly. As much as I'd like to play around here and put out maybe the Worgen and the Master Swordsmith attack to his face, I think that's really risky, because if he puts down a animal with taunt next turn, we start to blow this thing up. Giving this +2 attack is a little overkill, but at least for now, I think it's the safer play to make. Turn 6 could be Yeti, Master Swordsmith, Yeti, Cult Master. We'll just have to see what he puts down, and if we're going to be, if this Dark Iron Dwarf looks like it's going to be living through our next turn or not. If we know we're going to kill it, then Cult Master is probably worth just going ahead and putting down there and getting the 1 card draw. Wow, that's a lot of... Okay. So he kind of gives it away there, what the secret is. And the folly here would be to play Cult Master before we actually do need to kill this, because he's going to have 2 damage to all minions here. So go ahead and let that happen. And he continues to wear us down, doing a lot of damage to us, unfortunately. So now we're back at, I think, Chillwind Yeti and Master Swordsmith is going to be about as good as we can do here on turn 6. Get a little bit more powerful Yeti and hope that we can start stemming off some of this damage. And basically we're on a timer here. We've got 7 turns till we're gone, just if he continues to use Steady Shot. Oh, he's just going to trade. Complete trade here. So he uses 2 cards to take out our 2 cards. Pretty efficient, but we've got a pretty good card advantage now. So turn 7... I think we'll go ahead and get Silverhand Knight out, and go ahead and get a recruit out. We have a couple of things that can be used like removal. We've got Spellbreaker to silence something crazy he could put out, or Divine Shield if we know we're going to need to run something into something here.
Are you ready for this?
Okay, so we're gonna take this out.
To Northrend! Victory or death! Not on my watch.
But we really do have to start turning up the pressure here on damage. Not get too focused on trading his minions now. We've got some good minions on the board. He's at 23 health. We need to start doing some damage to him every turn. Because that's what we're going to get every turn from here on out, I would assume. So a 4-2 in stealth. Oh, so lucky for him. He took out our 4-4, our strongest minion on the board he's able to take out. This is a great time to play Frostwolf Warlord. And we'll go ahead and put our Worgen down. It's got some potential according to what he plays.
You insist. This is my responsibility.
So we've got him down to 14 health. If he has the card that gives you plus attack and charge, we could be in trouble here. One option would have been to silence this, although I don't think you can. You can't target a minion that's himself. So he obviously did not have the card and did not feel like he had a way to catch up. So even though he got a lot of early damage on us, we had such card advantage, we were able to continue to put a lot of pressure on the board, and he did not feel like he had any answers. So in that last match is an example of why there are times to hold back cards. Not to play something that he's just going to easily trade with, and especially if it keeps his minions alive. Holding back doesn't always work out. They may have such good card draw that they can then just continue to pile up the board and there's nothing you can do about it and you're going to lose. But you're also going to lose if you play right into them having favorable trades and giving them a huge card advantage. So my tendency these days is to, there's a pretty good opening hand, first decent opening hand we've had, and we can actually play things starting turn 2 on every turn, so we'll take that. Playing a priest here, this match will probably look pretty different than our last few matches. So he doesn't play anything, which makes me a little more comfortable in playing Knife Juggler. Turn 3 we can drop Worgen, or if for some reason we don't want to do that, we can always just summon a... Okay. I think we do put the Worgen down here, because this gives him a little bit of a tough decision on what he attacks, I think. Because ideally, these are both pretty prime targets that you want to prioritize. Now, if he has a removal spell, he can take one of them out with Shadow Word Pain, and the other one out with his Bomber. I don't think he'll leave Knife Juggler on the board. It's just not worth letting it stay around. And this has got to be Shadow Word Pain, yeah. So there's one Shadow Word Pain out of him. And he does go ahead and trade that. Now we'll put out the Yeti, which is such an awesome card against a priest. It's awesome against anybody, but it's right in between Shadow Word Pain and Death. So even if he does have a second Pain or has a Shadow Word Death in his hand, the Yeti does not get touched by it. And that's just a draw a card play for him there. So I think what we'll probably come back and do here, yeah, we could consecrate, True Silver Champion. Oh, and now it's really tempting to True Silver Champion, because we could next turn come back with this, but we can do both next turn. I think what we want to do here is go ahead and take this out, puts it down to 3 health. We can go ahead and restore it back up and put down our Master Swordsmith. The only danger we have here, okay, that actually works out great. If it had hit the Yeti, then the Yeti would have suddenly been in Shadow Word Death range. Which, if these all stay on the board, then one of these two will be Shadow Word Death range next turn. But we'll get some good damage on him if that happens. So, pretty comfortable with this. The problem we're running into right now is he has a significant card advantage. And I don't think I don't remember, honestly, if he's coined up or not. But he's got so many cards. It's amazing. So there's the coin. Okay, that's why it looked like he has so many cards. So he's going to take out the Yeti, restore some health to him, but that's all he can do this turn. So I actually don't like playing True Silver Champion when there's nothing to attack with it, but I think we do, because I don't like any of our other plays either. Now we assume that he's going to have an ooze, so we will go ahead and use this and attack him to the face and get at least one use out of it. So now if he has a Shadow Word Death, this is an obvious target for Shadow Word Death. And Shadow Word Death, such a good removal spell. It's very mana efficient.
Your magic shall not save you.
Pretty good target for our True Silver. And we'll definitely take that out. Not worth leaving that on the board. Oh, we'll go ahead and play this while we have it. Not worth consecrating here. Really not worth putting Spellbreaker down. Because we're going to trade with both of these on the board.
Reporting for duty.
The only downside is he did hold off from taking a lot of damage that he would have taken, but it's okay. We're in a good position. Let's just see if he has the holy whatever the priest removal spell is, and if he does, this would be a time that you'd expect to see it. Would heal him and take out some of our minions. If he could throw something down with there's a Shadow Word Death. If he could turn. Ooh, sort of a interesting play there. Holy Nova is what I'm talking about. Alright, so we can technically do 14 damage this turn. Not enough to be lethal, so not worth doing it. And we're just gonna call it a day. I'm sure there will be something he will place on the board next turn, but for some reason he doesn't. Okay, he's gone. So he just didn't have the ability to deal with our minions. He was able to Shadow Word Pain, Shadow Word Death, Holy Fire. I mean, he was taking them out 1/1/1, but we were putting out too many, and plus with our Master Swordsmith buffing things up, we were doing some decent damage to him. So we roll on here. 4 wins. Pretty good performance out of this Paladin deck, I have to say. I think we're going to get a real change in difficulty here right now on this match. I guess we could get lucky and somebody get a really bad card draw, but you go 4-0, all of a sudden your opponents, both their ability and their luck in terms of what they drew, changes significantly. So
I will fight with honor. Justice demands retribution.
I think we're going to send both 4s back. We have so many 4s, I'm sure we'll get at least 1 4 out back. Okay, so now we've got a little removal, one of our Blood Cell Raiders, and Frostwolf Warlord.
Well met. Well met.
Well, makes me feel a little better that this Paladin has drawn a Light's Justice. Of course, the Light's Justice takes out our little Silverhand recruits, so, you know, for the next... he's actually going to be a 3/3. It's a big advantage for him. Kind of in a pickle here. Not a lot we can do. We'll just go to his face. He's going to be able to trade favorably there, and he'll be able to take out our Silverhand recruit.
Reporting for duty.
Shoot, I guess it is worth playing the secret. And if he plays this incorrectly, then it helps a little bit. He played it correctly, though. He went for that first, so he's able to still take out our Blood Cell Raider with his Blood Cell Raider and possibly do it with... Okay, so at the very least we're able to take this out without taking damage from it, but he does now have a Jungle Panther. On a more positive note, we could go ahead and consecrate, and I think we will. It's a little early to consecrate, but that's 4 damage we're going to save ourselves from taking, so we'll go ahead and take those guys out, attack here, and live to see another round. He's got one swing left with his Light's Justice. And what's he going to play for 4 mana? Oh, 5 mana. Okay, so real strong play there. Really nothing for us to play here.
Blood and blood.
I only hope there we can, if he does attack it with Stranglethorn Tigers, we can Hammer of Wrath it and get card draw out of it. And we can still Hammer of Wrath that.
Reporting for duty. Take heart.
Oh, he's got some nice cards now. That's awesome. Wow. Yeah, I'd say we're in trouble now. Unless we were to get our silence or something else here, we're in a bit of trouble. Alright, so let's just go ahead and put down 2, 4, 5, 6, 2, 7. I think we go ahead and just put Knife Juggler down and Silverhand Knight. Just gonna have to sort of force our way through the next few minutes and hope that something lives here, possibly that we could put kings on next turn. Let's have to see what he has in his hand. Obviously he's in a really strong position right now.
Reporting for duty.
We would love to top deck our silence before we have to kill the
My shield for Argus.
Karn Bloodhoof. Okay. All right. 3.
My ancestors watch over you.
Not on my watch.
If you insist.
The eyes of the Earth Mother are upon us.
Don't like any of our plays here.
Reporting for duty.
And we've had a pretty awkward card draw, but more than that, it's just been he's got really good cards. He's got probably better cards than we do overall. So he's going to do positive trading here. Playing it pretty safe, but I don't blame him. I mean, he's in a big-time position of strength here. He's going to trade all the way out, and he still has 11 damage on the board before he's even put any other minions out. So yeah, he got some really good minions. We've already used Consecrate. There's nothing we're going to have to deal with all this. So we'll just throw some things out there.
Reporting for duty.
Nothing else we can do, and he's going to have a pretty easy victory here.
Let me think.
I mean, I think if I was him, I would take out the Worgen, and I would ignore everything else, and go ahead and do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 15 damage. Just trade this out, and then do 15 damage. You got us down to 14 damage next turn. I think if you get too caught up in taking all the minions out every time, you do risk some kind of miraculous comeback if we had another Consecrate or you know, something else. You get all your minions so low in health and you've never done any damage with them. So if it was me, if I was him, that's what I would do. But and now you've got that, you just about have to go to the face with everything, I would think. That's 23 damage this turn. Yeah, I think that's crazy. I mean, he's going to be fine because we don't have the cards for it, but I think that's crazy to not just go to the face with all that stuff. So the thing we would most like to take out, priority 1 here, is probably Stormwind Champ. But even with Blessing of Kings and this, it doesn't do that. Blessing of Kings does take this out.
Let me
But it dies in the process. So I mean, it's kind of a waste there. So that's going to be it. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. It's going to be too much damage. Even if we did take this out, he's got 18 damage he can do next turn. So instead of prolonging this, and now he might trade forever, but and not win as quick as he could, but I know based on the cards we have that eventually he would win, and so it's not worth just sitting here and watching that play out forever and ever. So we'll go ahead and bow out. And like I said, I knew once we got to 4-0 there, we were going to start playing against opponents that not only potentially play better, just play smarter, but also have gotten much luckier drafts. And against that opponent, we started to see, you know, we saw a legendary. He had several really kind of grade A minions from different mana cost ranges. So I'm glad we did as well as we did in the beginning with this deck. But, you know, with this kind of draw that we got, I don't think we're going to get any more wins. We might get one more if we just have a really fortunate game, but we're certainly not going to be going over 5 wins, I wouldn't think, with this deck. But we'll see. You never know. And, you know, if you can make it to late game, Paladin is pretty strong late game
Well met.
with the pulling out the Silverhand recruits.
Greetings.
But against a warrior, if it's a typical warrior deck, we'll know pretty quick here. I think I do want to go ahead and play Knife Juggler here. Next turn we can possibly get 2 minions out if that's still alive. Now if he has a Fiery War Axe, we're going to see it immediately. And it's unfortunate we didn't get any oozes in our... So a good slam there. He didn't get card draw off of it. It's the only disappointing part for him, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Reporting for duty.
Now if he has a Whirlwind, he could wipe our board again.
let the pain speak to me.
I actually think that we silence that, because our deck is already going to have a hard time, I think, in most of these matches now that we've gotten up to 4 wins. But if we give somebody card draw, I think it is absolutely over. So we'll go ahead and do that. He already got card advantage. If we had to hit that thing twice, he'd have 9 cards in his deck right now. Yeah.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Interesting. Alright, so I think we just put a Yeti out here. Go to his face. Nothing to heal. I mean, I don't really think anything else. Nothing else makes perfect sense there. If he wants to double trade here for the Yeti, he can. We'll take that 2 for 1. 6 mana for our 4. Now that's craziness. You use a 4 attack removal against a 1/1 minion? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Well, we could trade with this and then put Noble Sacrifice out, and that would mean that this would die if he attacks with it. And then I guess the other thing we could do is Divine Shield this just to keep it at full health.
Let me think.
Or we could heal it up. I think I'd rather heal it up. I don't think this is the turn to bring the Argent Commander out. And it honestly may not be necessary to do Noble Sacrifice now either. I don't know, I guess we will. He's liable to attack something with that, I would think, but we'll see. He's got a little bit of a card advantage, but not as much now that he did that combo to execute our Spellbreaker, which frankly was a bit of a weird play to me, but alright, so kind of a interesting little charge situation he's going to do. Now we'll just trade up there and ignore that. Or we could just take it out with our Argent Commander, actually.
To Northrend! Victory!
We can throw another Divine Shield on one of these cards if we so choose. Is he gonna Whirlwind? What's he doing? No?
Do you need a blessing?
What in the world? That's so weird. These have been such weird plays to me. Alright.
Attend me.
Ready, sir.
Whatever you say, warrior friend, and your strange plays.
I hope you like my invention.
I just don't know why you play Young Priestess right there. Young Priestess is a really great card. But to play it right there... What did he just execute? Oh. It's a 4-1. Why not execute the 4-3? I am so confused, folks. So confused.
If you insist.
I'm not ready. Reporting with you to battle. The battle.
I mean, he's kind of had okay cards. I mean, he was sort of stuck with a lot of those warrior removal type cards in the beginning that honestly aren't that great to use them like he used them, at least. So some of it may be the awkward card draw, but I also think it's just been some questionable plays, in my opinion, here. You can't ever say that with 100% because you don't know what was in his deck when he played it. Maybe the card he played the next turn that you thought, oh, that should have gone paired up with something earlier. Maybe he didn't have it at that time. So it's hard to say for sure. But this game is just about Escape Team. I'm not sure what he would do.
Well played.
Most warrior decks in Arena are not going to play good from behind. Alright, so there's 5 wins, and I think we're going to actually take a little break here and You won't notice it as we record the video, but we'll step away for a bit and we'll be back to continue our Hearthstone adventures soon. Okay, here we go. We're going to continue our arena run with our Paladin here. We're 5-1, and find out if we can maybe get a couple more wins out of this deck. I don't know. It depends on how lucky we get against our opponent and what their deck is like. We have an okay deck. We got an okay one in this run, but going against a hunter here. Let's see how we can do. Yeah, it's going to be hard to complain against these. We have so many 4s. We get a 2 and a 3, even if it's not an ideal 3 for this early. It's probably worth going ahead and holding on to it. Got a couple removals here, so it's good. Possible. It might be good holding on to Consecrate a little longer, but
Greetings, traveler.
the right situation comes up, and we will go and play a Blood Sail here. Hold on to the other one for a little bit, possibly if our weapon comes out next couple turns. It's probably worth holding it. And if he doesn't have a 2-drop here, or if he doesn't have something that's not going to just die immediately to the Blood Sail, he may just decide to hit us for 2 with a steady shot. He's considering it here, it looks like. Now if he puts something down that we can run this into, then we can then just heal next turn, but he is going to do that. So turn 3 we won't put our Farseer down, I don't think. We'll put our Demolisher down, even better. Even if he does multi-shot, the Demolisher will live and hit him for 2 damage next turn, so we'll take that. Whenever you see a Demolisher come out, you prioritize getting rid of that. He's going to coin up to 4 mana here. Let's see what he's putting down. Yeah, so he did do multi-shot, so this still lives, and he's out of mana, so we're going to get some damage out of it. We can also go ahead and heal it now if we want to. We could Kings it, but I think it's better just to heal it. I think it's a little early to be Kingsing something and putting all our eggs in our Demolisher basket. So we're sitting in an okay shot as long as he doesn't have another multi-shot. If he has another multi-shot, then he's going to definitely have card advantage. Alright, so there's a secret. Very possibly going to be 2 damage to everything. Let's just check this out here. We're going to have to find out what the secret is. Oh, there's a pretty good 5 to play right now. We're just going to see what this is here. Hopefully it's misdirection or something. Okay, so it's Freezing Trap. We'll think about playing this again here. Again, we do have some pretty good removal. And of course, if we had known it was Freezing Trap, we'd have played the Earthen Ring Farseer. Attacked with the Earthen Ring Farseer. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and put this back out. There's no need to rush anything else out until we see what he's going to play. We basically have 3 removal. Kings can be a type of removal, Consecration and Hammer of Wrath. So we may go ahead and Hammer of Wrath that just to... Ooh, that's nice. Just so that we can favorably trade. But let's think about this. We could ping with this. It goes down to 1 damage. Hammer of Wrath that. And then trade there. And we still have 2 mana. Yeah, I think I like that, honestly. I mean, it's actually tempting to Consecrate now. I think we will. It's great to hold on to Consecrate for a bigger board than that, but I think the way this match is going, we're either going to go on to victory here with the momentum we've built up, or there's a kill command, 5 damage to a 1/1. That's how much you have to prioritize getting those daggum Demolishers off the board. So ends up being a pretty good situation for us. Alright, so if we play Hammer of Wrath here, this gets down to 1. And we do draw a card, but then we still have to trade there, and we only have 3 mana left. The other thing we could do is give this 2 attack, and that would clear it pretty easily. Or we could Kings this, and it would still be on the board. We know we have 2 more Kings. Of course, the other thing As we're sitting here on this Frostwolf Warlord.
To battle for duty.
Let's see here. Any kind of AoE removal would be ideal for him, I think. Alright, so it looks like we may actually get a chance here to put our Warlord down. Oh, he's going to charge him out. Alright, just trying to salvage this, it looks like. Well, that ends up being a sort of a perfect Hammer of Wrath target there. So we'll do that. See what we draw, and then probably go Dark Iron Dwarf. Oh, another Hammer of Wrath. It's pretty good. So we're doing good here, keeping the pressure up. Lots of damage. Every turn we've been able to offer some damage to the face as well as clear his board. Now there's a strong play, and we probably will... Could be 2 damage to everything. Alright, so if we charge it, pop his shield, pop our shield, and then it still has 5. So really we...
Let me think.
Let's see. 2, 5, Noble Sacrifice. Not a great play to make right here. And let's see, if we let him, he will pop the shield on. We want to go ahead and take that shield off. All right, what's this gonna do? All right. So now the question is, do we really want to get that shield off? I think so. I think we do.
Your magic shall not save you.
Alright, that's gonna take off 2, so he'll be a 3, so we can Hammer of Wrath him now. Pretty good situation. We can of course clear this with Argent Commander as well. Let's see what we draw. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. Now what we need to look here though is we are actually going to be lethal now, and so we'll go 5 damage there with 4 there, and we'll be lethal.
You asked for it.
I will fight with honor.
Well, we have a 3-4-5, but it's not very strong. I don't really like that order for that 3-4-5. I think this is better. We'll play Bloodsail Raider on turn 2 possibly, but Corsair will most likely wait till we get a weapon out, unless we just really need to play him. This becomes so much more of a valuable card if you can play it when okay, this is kind of interesting. I think we will go ahead and play Bloodsail though. She can trade hero ability and attack.
duty.
That will probably be
To battle.
2 damage to all enemies. Nope, ice barrier. Okay. So I think we want to go ahead and put the Yeti out at this point over the Magi.
First.
And we'll go ahead and attack with the Worgen if she wants to use 2 mana on taking the Worgen out.
I'll be just like you.
It's not that bad of a deal. Ooh. Another secret.
First kill. To battle.
Okay, so this is going to be probably a secret where she gets a duplicate of whatever we play.
Blood and plunder.
And we're going to go ahead and figure it out here.
Blood and plunder.
Play our own secret. She does have card advantage and a decent time to blizzard or do one of her spells here.
To Northrend. Victory. Jack. No.
Really hoping that at least 2 of our minions are alive next turn so we can get some benefit out of the Frostwolf Warlord, but we'll have to see here. So she'll probably... She was planning on, I would assume, fire blasting this. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and... ooh, wait, that's kind of tempting. Cult Master, trade, draw a card. Or reinforced Frostwolf Warlord and get an 8/8.
Reporting for duty. Victory. Jack. No.
A little dangerous in the sense that she has spell damage right now, so one of her big AoE spells is going to be pretty devastating.
Engaging TC-130, mental dislocator.
Not as devastating as that. This is going to be rough. And Mind Control Tech may have just lost us the match here. Alright, we've got to get, let's see, get this down. Get this down to 2. This would be at 4. If we kings this, it's just an even trade. Unfortunately, I think we have to do it.
To battle.
Boy, that really messed us up, that Mind Control Tech. And that's the problem with having 4 minions like that.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
I'm not ready. Reporting for duty.
Not a lot we can do here. So let's see. She'll trade Demolisher. Of course, she may have spells and just not worry about trading. Flame Strike here just clears the board. Yeah, and that one turn where we had 4 minions up and she just took one of them and she got lucky and took the 8/8. That's going to be the difference in this match here, unfortunately.
Reporting for duty.
I think we actually have to go ahead and kings it.
Your magic shall not save you.
The crossbow stand ready.
Alright, well, a little lucky on the RNG there, but pretty good game. Pretty good game for the mage. I think we could have fought through that if she hadn't, of all of our cards, gotten the Frostwolf Warlord. But she still had a Flame Strike coming. I mean, it would have been a close match, but that one play just pretty much sealed the deal for us.
Uther versus Garrosh.
Victory or death! I will fight with honor.
It's not ideal, but I think it works. I think it's worth keeping it, I'd say.
Well met. Greetings.
Put this apple on your head. Put this apple on your head.
If he has a Fiery War Axe, he'll be at an early advantage here, I'd say. That's not weird at all. Actually, it's completely weird. But what are you gonna do? Alright. We're sort of coaxing all the removal we can get out of him here, and we still have a pretty favorable trade here. I mean, this is a really good target for Hammer of Wrath. And even though this doesn't have Enrage anymore because he silenced it, we've got a little bit of a card advantage now. More about even. We just have the coin, I guess, but... And this...
Got the best deals anywhere.
I think it's worth removing it, to be honest.
To Northrend. Victory.
It's been a couple matches since we've seen our True Silver Champion. It'll be nice to get it out. But that's the problem with... Ooh, plays an ooze. That's... Why would you not kill this minion? Now you've put yourself in consecrate range. I didn't really understand that. I don't think you ever do that cruel taskmaster on one of your own minions if you're not about to attack with it, if at all possible. Yeah, we'll probably just silence that mess.
Your magic shall not save you.
To battle! Reporting for duty.
A whirlwind here would kind of help him clear the board here. We're going to be very close to lethal next turn unless he can clear a good bit of our board. What I'm curious about is what's he going to hit with that Reaper. Okay, going to go to the face with it. That makes sense. Alright, so we'll just take this out with our Dark Iron Dwarf and then Worgen right there. And we'll still have 4, so we'll probably play Yeti. And just go to the face with what's left on here.
Well played.
4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
The battle!
First.
The battle!
Just making sure we're not lethal.
Well played.
All right. Well, there it is. 7 wins. I think that is a satisfying place to get to here with this Paladin deck. It's sort of an average Paladin deck. It's certainly not bad, but it's also not great. Let's review a little bit here. Noble Sacrifice. One of the few secrets that I kind of like. I don't want many secrets in an arena deck, but 1 or 2 that you can sort of place at the right time can be helpful. Worgen Infiltrator, it's been fine. Argent Protector, we actually have not gotten out much. We've seen Blood Cell Raiders like crazy. Demolisher, gotten a little work done. We've seen Earthen Ring Farseer, and that's been helpful a little bit. True Silver Champion, just haven't seen it in recent matches, but early in our run, some of our early wins, we did get that out. Of course, with 3 Blessing of Kings, they've ended up being a big part of both of our wins and our losses. Consecration's been great, just wish we had a second one. Hammer of Wrath, it's awesome. There's so many times that 3 damage is just what you need to remove a minion, and the fact that you get to draw a card is just great. Yeti, of course, and Dark Iron Dwarf, as you saw in that last match, very, very helpful. Dread Corsair, it's okay. It just depends on having more weapons. The fact that we don't have more weapons makes the Dread Corsair really kind of stinky, but Blood Cell Raider is a decent card on its own, even without the weapon. So it's kind of the difference there. And the rest of these just okay. Argent Commanders have been good. We haven't really seen War Golem much. Frostwolf Warlord, except for getting stolen by the mind control tech, has been decent. So again, just pretty decent Paladin deck. Not great for sure, but enough going on with it, enough interactions between our different cards that we've been able to get a few wins out of it.
Uther versus Rexa. Let the hunt begin. I will fight.
Yeah, I'm not complaining with that. We'll keep it for sure. Even if we don't draw a 2 and we just have to play our Silverhand Knight on 2, that's not the end of the world, but we'll go ahead and put that Worgen out there and just kind of let him sit and wait for a little bit. Of course, multi-shot would take him out. That's interesting. So now we have Argent Protector. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take that out. We may go ahead and Divine Shield it.
Not on my watch.
First ancestors watch over me. First kill.
Don't mess with Tusker. I feel icky.
Bring it on.
So we're not in a, certainly not in a position of strength right now, but we got rid of his Leok, which is what we had to do there because it just tears you up with giving those other minions +1 attack, especially this early. So I think we need to get bodies on the board. This matches up pretty good with what he's got out there right now. And then we'll go, let's see, if we put a recruit up, be a 1/1, he could trade here, this would have 2 life, then we could double trade. I think we'll do that. We'll hold a little bit back here.
Reporting for duty.
That way if he multi-shots, we haven't lost quite as much. We really need to stabilize here. So we're gonna
X marks the spot.
We're going to assume he doesn't have 2 multi-shots, but I guess we'll find out soon. What is... Well, we can kill Hager. And... goodness, we're going to take so much damage, so much more damage though.
Your magic shall not save you.
Reporting for duty. Get down!
Alright, so we can do 8, 10 damage this turn, technically. Just with those 2 cards. I think we do have to trade here. This might be game over here for us. He's got 5, 7. All he needs is 1 spell, and it's just...
They are banned to my command.
We're lethal. He can't just attack us to the face here with the tiger. He's got to trade something. I don't know why you'd waste that on that, but okay. Whatever you say, buddy. 13 damage. But we gotta trade because it'll be game over if we don't.
Done.
Alright. What are we gonna put out here? 4. Do we clear that off? I think we do.
Die, landlubber.
Mage.
Blood and plunder. The battle.
We're gonna need an awfully good top deck here, though. See what we get. Too bad. Too bad.
Crush. No, smash. Bring me steel. The To battle! Reporting for duty.
Well, one way or the other, this is the last turn of the game. If he has a kill command, he wins.
Well played. Squire, attend me. Well played.
Ready, sir.
What do you know?
Well fought. And well played.
What do you know? We stabilized just in time that match, and that was rough, but it was a good win. Now we're at that best of scenarios. If you watched one of my recent videos, I highlighted how, in terms of, for people like me that really, at the end of the day, I just really enjoy playing Arena, and I play a lot of Arena and play a little bit of Constructed, but not that much. For people like me, the more gold you get as a reward, the more gold you build up, and the less you ever have to worry about actually putting real money into the game, which has been quite a while since we've had to put real money into the game. But so really, we're at a win-win situation. If we get 9 wins, that's great. We won, yah, yay, whatever, rah, whatever I'm trying to say here. But if we lose this next match at 8 wins, we'll get more gold than if we go to 9 wins. So it's kind of a win-win situation. We'll still play for the win. In the video I showed recently, for an experiment, I got to 8 wins twice in a row and went ahead and conceded. One time I had to concede twice because I was 8-1, but I conceded twice just to be able to track how much gold you got at 8 wins, and it looks like on average you do get more gold on 8 wins than you do 9. So, well, I'm interested to see this. This is
I will fight with honor.
a rogue who is at 8 wins, and I'm curious to see what her deck's like.
Well met.
Play against a lot of rogues in Arena that
The pleasure is mine.
aren't that strong, so let's see what her rogue deck looks like. I think rogues can be very strong in Arena, but I think some of their cards just don't work as well in Arena as you might think they would. Ooh, excuse me. Wow. It's a strong play. I don't want a Yeti on the board staring at me. So she'll just take the 6 damage here.
Reporting for duty.
Not on my watch.
My eyes are open.
I suspect she may hit our Farseer with her weapon again. Oh, wow. She does have good minions. Take back everything I said about rogues. Alright, 4. I don't even know. I don't even know. 4, leave 2 damage. I could just draw a card off of it, get it down to 5. Then she'll attack this. That'll get it down to 1. If she attacks it, which she might not. Man, this is brutal.
The battle.
I don't know. We're going to take 14 damage from this thing at least.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
She's getting excited now. She's loving it. Alright, I think we just have to take it out and take our lumps here.
For justice.
And
Reporting for duty. The frost wolves. The battle. The battle.
as long as this rogue stays focused on doing damage to us and doesn't get distracted by our minions, then I'd say it's a pretty easy win for her. And that's what she's doing. She's going to go to our face, and she should go to our face with those two. Oh, wow. Okay, I guess she's just trying to keep that alive for another turn, which it's not going to work. But, see, I really think she should have just gone to our face. But she chose not to, so let's see. Let's go ahead and put this out, 'cause I think it's going to be an interesting turn for her to decide what she wants to kill.
This guy's toast.
Yeah, she's got good cards. You should never enrage it before your turn, before it's time to attack with it. That's craziness. It's gonna work out for her here. It looks like.
Your magic shall not save me.
Not on my watch.
All right, well played. But that's crazy sauce to enrage that before it's time to attack with it. Alright, so we got the more gold. We didn't get the final win, but we got the more gold. And hey, you know what? This Paladin deck, wow. Overperforming like crazy. We will take that for sure. So 8 wins with a Paladin. I got to add this to the spreadsheet. Keep up with all of our stats here. Wow. So 215 plus 45, 270. Is that right? I think it's 270. So that's just above the average that I've seen on 8 wins. So a little bit better than average on the gold amount there. Not by much, but just a little bit. And we'll see what, see, it was up to 900, and that's, you know, some of this gold that we've gotten has been because we've intentionally stopped at 8 wins a couple times in a row before this, and so then we get 8 wins naturally. So there's a Pyroblast. I'm curious to see if that's my second Pyroblast, or maybe first. I'm not sure. It does look like we have a new mage spell, so that's going to be... That's our first Pyroblast. Wow. You see I don't play much Constructed, and certainly not much Mage in Constructed, because if you do, you would have already enchanted and crafted a Pyroblast. And several things to disenchant as well. We're working our way back up in Enchanting Dust, up to 1420. We had gotten up to, I think it was almost 4,000 or 3,500 or something like that, and we gave in and enchanted a golden Ragnaros, so that pretty much ate all of our dust that time. But anyway, appreciate you watching as always. Decent little Paladin run there to 8 wins. Really gives us a lot of gold, and we've been able to build up a lot of gold here, so I'm proud of that. And hopefully we'll get another match in here maybe later today or tomorrow and be able to put another video up. But thanks for watching as always.
Bye bye, Nods.